Thanks very much. Just a reminder, sit up straight and pay attention to the lesson plans here this morning. We want to welcome all of you to this third annual Education Summit on behalf of NBC News and the sponsors of this year's summit. I want to thank you for joining us here in the beautiful Bartas Forum at the New York Public Library, as well as those of you who are joining us online and on the networks of NBC News and NBC Universal. We're here, as we all know, because fixing our country's education system is a critical mission, something that deserves all of our attention. And as you just saw, our focus this year is on solutions, real solutions, tried and true solutions to real problems. We're going to explore 10 case studies, ideas that we have found that are working in big and small cities and small towns all over America. We'll introduce you to some of the leaders who are making those programs succeed, public and private. And we'll share information and resources that will give your community a chance to share in that success with your help. And in a presidential year, we're going to hold the candidates accountable as well. Tomorrow, we'll hear directly from President Barack Obama in an exclusive interview on education. And Governor Mitt Romney will be on the stage with Brian Williams to give his vision of the future for American education and to answer your questions. So we've got a lot going on here this morning, and because in this business, we always try to be on time, we're going to move very quickly. So to kick off this great gathering, please join me in welcoming once again a man who has really put education at the forefront of public life, the mayor of the city of New York, who is also kind of our unofficial headmaster, the Honorable Mike Bloomberg. Well done.
Tom, thank you, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the New York Public Library. How many of you have never been in this room before? It is just spectacular. Look around, and if we would clear out all of the audio-video stuff, this is one of the great meeting places in New York City, and we have a lot of them, but we do a lot of things here. I hope you get a chance to walk around the whole library and do some browsing, and if you're wondering where all the Twilight books are, I promise to return them by the end of the week. If you're looking for 50 Shades of Grey, talk to Tom. Seriously, it's an honor to welcome everyone to New York City for the third Education Nation Summit, and I want to thank NBC for bringing this group of leaders together to discuss an issue that couldn't be more important to the future of our country. It is encouraging that both presidential candidates have accepted the invitation to share their views this week, because somehow education has become a non-issue in this campaign, and I think it is one of the big issues that the country faces. Ultimately, it took a strike in Chicago to put education on the national spotlight, and I think Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, was quite right to move towards a longer school day. We've added 30 minutes to the school day here in New York City. The more time a child is in front of a great teacher, the better that child is going to learn, and the better their life and prospects are going to be. We work very hard on absenteeism and a longer school day, both to get the great teacher looking the great student in the eye and together really making a future. I also think Rahm was right in pushing towards evaluations. That is a reform that the Obama administration rightly made part of the race to the top. Here in New York City, our state legislature, if many of you may know, passed a law requiring teacher evaluation systems more than 2 years ago, and yet, like in Chicago, the unions have to sign off on it, and so far they have not. We are not going to have a teachers' strike here in New York City. There is a law prohibiting public workers from striking. But if the teachers do not agree with the city on an evaluation system, we stand to lose about $500 million in state and federal funding, and I think it would be a travesty for our students if that happens. We just cannot let it take place. The Chicago strike highlighted a fundamental issue in American education reform, and that is that we treat teachers like skilled professionals, or do we treat teachers like skilled professionals, and that means paying them well and rewarding performance and holding them accountable for their work, or do we treat them like assembly line workers who are interchangeable and who are given lockstep pay increases entirely on seniority, not for skill? I've always believed that the most important thing in education is teacher quality, teacher quality, teacher quality, and we have to make sure that our best teachers are those that we encourage and keep in the classroom and not going off to other careers. That answer to that question will really decide whether the United States is going to remain the world's strongest economic power. Now, here in New York City, when Randy Weingarten was leading our union, we worked together to raise teachers' salaries by 43%, and now senior teachers make $100,000 a year. I've always believed you have to reward people for their work to the extent that you possibly can. We were, back in those days, losing teachers to other teaching jurisdictions and to other careers, and I think basically that has stopped. We've reformed our tenure process to make it something that is earned, not automatically given. For too long, all you had to do was keep breathing, and you would have tenure. Today, you really have to be a star performer and really make a difference to get tenure. We have also proposed giving teachers who are rated highly effective a $25,000 raise to reward them. So far, we've not been able to negotiate that with the union, but we are continue to work on that. This week, there's going to be a lot of discussion of different ideas for improving our schools, not just around teachers, but also charter schools, college readiness, technology, you name it. And this morning, I thought I'd kick off by mentioning just two new initiatives that we're launching here in New York City, both focused on early education. First, starting in the 2013-2014 school year, in other words, next year, we'll be expanding access to full-day pre-kindergarten by more than 4,000 seats. This builds on the tremendous strides we've made to maximize the number of kids in pre-K programs, and along with our City Council and its Speaker, Christine Quinn, who's shown strong leadership and commitment to improving early childhood education, we've increased pre-K enrollment by nearly 50% since 2002. And second, we're excited to announce the first EduCare school in New York City. EduCare is a national model for early childhood education services for young children from 6 weeks old to age 5 that has proven very effective in preparing academically at-risk children for success in school. We're also creating the first EduCare Leadership Institute in the country, and it will help us meet the city's needs for high-quality early childhood program directors, and it will be an incubator for promoting practices in early childhood education that will spread to programs throughout the city. We're excited to work closely with the National EduCare Learning Network, and especially Susie Buffett, who's done a phenomenal job through these Buffett Early Childhood Fund. Hopefully these and many other early education initiatives will be just the first of many exciting new projects and partnerships that come out of this week. And I hope that all of the discussions this week will really center around the single most important issue, and that is what is best for our students. We have to make sure that our school systems are run for the students and not run for the people that work there. No business that doesn't focus on its customers and giving more to them survives. And education, I don't like to think of it just as a business, but in terms of management and an objective point of view, it's exactly the same. You have to focus, you have to decide what's important, and then everybody else has to get on board and make sure that it works. The question of whether we do that is really what is going to determine the future of our country. So have a great week, and thank you all for participating. The future of our city, our country, and the world really is in your hands. And as I always say to new people when I hire them, don't screw it up. Thank you.